My name is Dr. Keith Golay, and today I'm here to talk about the psychology of aging. I'll say a little bit about myself. I've been in the field about 40 years now, and in the last 10 years I've specialized in aging and working with seniors and their families. I've been the behavioral health advisor at St. Jude Heritage Healthcare and developing programs for seniors. I have an outpatient practice and see seniors and their families, and I do work with seniors in assisted living and in SNFs, nursing homes. So I'm very interested in talking today because when we begin to talk about seniors, there's some very important things that we have to keep in mind. First of all, not all seniors are the same. Unfortunately, because they are part of a chronological group, and we call them seniors or aged or older people, or geriatric, we kind of make the assumption that they're all similar. But in fact, people are quite different from one another, and what we know today is people are wired in different ways. Now, depending upon what your character traits are and how you're wired, will influence how you think, how you feel, what your values are, and also it will influence how you deal with aging. So, different types of people respond to aging in different ways. For example, take the person who's their whole life as an adult has been a hard driver. They're used to being directive, they're used to having things go the way they want. They tend to be people who are workaholics. They want things organized and done in a timely manner. Now, when this person enters the senior population and begins to age, it's a big adjustment. All of a sudden, they can't do all of the things that they used to do, physically especially. So they go from being in charge to having to be directed and subordinate to others who have to care for them. And as they decline, it gets increasingly difficult. And I see these people, and many of them are very frustrated. They're resistant to the process of aging. They don't like it. They get angry because people aren't responding to them and the needs that they have as quickly as they want. So aging is difficult for that person. Or take the person who their whole life has been independent, maybe a thrill seeker, like to live on the edge, like to do lots of activities, like to take risks. And all of a sudden now, they've reached an age where they're declining and not able to do those things any longer. And this person has a severe difficulty in adjusting to being maybe bedridden or having to be cared for by other people, having to respond to other people's routines. So it's, you can see, would be very difficult. And then there's a group of people that adjust quite fine. The point is that based upon how you're wired will determine to some degree how well you deal with the aging process. You know, throughout history, people have tried to find ways to slow down or stop aging. You know, we've had the anti-aging remedies that people have sought out. We have the fountain of youth that people have tried to find. And of course, there isn't a way to do that, particularly right now. Longevity, though, we have found that it's not due to genetics, and really it's not something that's inherited, but longevity has a lot to do with medical science and with changes in lifestyle. You know, back in the Roman times, people only lived till about 25 years of age. Now in the 1900s, people lived into their 40s. Today, the year 2009, people live into their 80s. In fact, the fastest growing population are people who are over 85. Currently, I work with at least a half a dozen seniors who are over 90 years old. And it's surprising how many people are reaching that age. Now, aging is difficult not only for the person who's doing the aging, but also for families. It becomes an interesting problem when family members have a different makeup than their parent. And so when they get into the role of caretaking, it becomes sometimes very difficult because they begin to expect things of their parents. They just can't deliver. They can't respond the way that they would like for their parent to respond because they're wired different than they are. This process of aging is a very personal process, and we need to begin to understand these differences in people and how they age. On the other hand, in 1984, there was a study that was started by the MacArthur Foundation on aging, and it was a study that took about 10 years. And what they did is brought together a group of people from different professions. And they studied not the problems of aging, but what are the factors that contribute to successful aging. And some very important things were found. First of all, they did show that the principle, use it or lose it, is for real. People that used their mind, that exercised their brain, that would read, do problem solving, you do puzzles and various activities that require using their mind, would stay more alert. They didn't decline as quickly. And people that took physical exercise, they performed better as well. And what they found recently is both mental exercises and physical exercise actually stimulates the hippocampus in the brain, and that results in generating new brain cells. Now, this is a very recent finding. We used to think years ago that everyone had only X number of brain cells, and as you age, they die away. But now we realize we generate new brain cells through proper activity, mental and physical, which is a very important finding and maybe eventually will lead to a discovery that will help to slow the process of aging of the brain. The other thing they found, another factor, was that people need social connectedness. So they discovered that people are social beings and that they improve in their aging process when they have positive social relationships, when they have people that care about them, people they can talk to, people they can relate to in a variety of ways. Now, the next factor they found is that to age successfully, you need to be productive. You need to have activity. You need to do things that make you feel valued and give you a sense of purpose. Now, this productiveness could be volunteering, service. It could mean taking care of your grandchildren, possibly. It could mean having hobbies, but you can't be a couch potato. Now, the next thing that they found is that you need to have a good attitude about the aging process. They found people were positive, that they didn't resist the aging process, they had an acceptance of it, and the limitations that come with it. So these people would compromise. They would be willing to make changes to adapt to the needs rather than try to be demanding of things being the way they used to be. And so essentially what they found is if you think healthy, if you have a good attitude, you'll adapt much easier to aging, and in fact, we also discovered that will help to generate new brain cells and a new biology, a good positive biology in your physical being. You know, there is a mind-body connection, and how we think affects how we feel, and our emotions have impact on our physiology. Now, On the other hand, there are things then that will inhibit your ability to age successfully. For example, if you become isolated, if you don't have social connectedness, if you don't have positive social relationships. Another thing is if you don't use your mind and you don't exercise your brain, and if you don't exercise your body, you're going to lose it. And if you don't become productive, if you become a couch potato, watch TV all the time, and don't do things that contribute to your sense of contribution, and then to develop depression, anxiety, fears, think in ways that trigger negative emotions. What we do know is that kind of negative emotion actually does kill brain cells. So the principle would be, in order to age successfully, stop doing the things that hurt you and start doing the things that help you. Thank you.